here we go. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. All right, I need to tell a story about football. And I don't watch a lot of sports, but I like sports.
Like, do you ever throw a field goal? Does that count? Is it like a dunk? And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Okay, the best part of a football game, it's like the game-winning play, and everyone is like on the edge of their seats, right? They try to do some magical, whatever tricky thing that you do in football. I don't know, y'all, but it's like real intense, right? So everyone's waiting to see. And then there's a flag on the play. Everyone's just waiting. You're just like watching the replay. You're like trying to like analyze everything. Everyone becomes an expert at this point, right? I don't know anything about sports, so I can't even really talk about football. But it is like intense, right? Even I feel that intensity. The whole stadium, you're watching the replay. They're like, did his foot go out of the line? Was his foot on the line? Was it a touchdown? And then the umpire comes out and you're like, okay, this is it. They're going to decide our team's fate, right? They have a whistle, but I don't think they blow it at this point. At this point, they wouldn't be blowing a whistle, right? They don't blow the whistle to get the stadium's attention. That's dumb. Okay. Oh, they say something like this. I don't know what I'm about to say because I don't know football. The tapes have been reviewed and the powers that be have determined that he was, right? And the whole stadium's like, what? Safe! Half the stadium is freaking out because they're so excited. Half the stadium is like so disappointed. The anticipation, the expectation of what's it gonna be, what's he gonna say, right? And then he finally lays it on you. It's the best. That's the best part of watching football to me. I don't care what you say. What? So that's right!
You are blending multiple sports.
No, I wasn't. A flag on the play is football. Referee. They're all the same. I swore I was all football. Umpire, referee, same thing. They wear stripy shirts, right? Oh, wait, no. An umpire doesn't wear shirts. Fine, maybe you're not into sports and that didn't make any sense, but okay, see if you can go here with me. So there's this guy, right? Is it even me if we're not talking about some guy? I know, Switch, I'm getting my life together, I promise. So there's this guy, right? And we are talking but not talking. He tells me that, hey, I'm actually about to go out to dinner with my friends. And so I text him back and say, cool, hit me up later. And so then he says, oh, it's fine if you still want to text me. I was like, that's like next level. That's like, I'm out busy with my friends, but I still want you to text me. So I'm like in my feelings and like, I don't think. And the next thing I text him without thinking, oh, Switch, I'm so embarrassed. I text him, good, because I like talking to you. The moment I hit send, I wanted to take it back. The moment, I was just like, no, Leslie, that was too much. You're not even really talking. Like, this is too serious. You should not have sent that text, right? And then, worse, right? You know this feeling. You send a text that's like, I shouldn't have sent that, and then they don't respond. And so I'm like looking at my phone. You know how we do. You're like waiting to see, maybe he's at least gonna type something. So you see the bubbles pop up, right? I'm just sitting there like, y'all, at this point, the emotional roller coaster of just like waiting and expecting, like, what is he gonna say? And then I hear it, chime. I take my phone. I'm just like, I don't wanna know. Guys, he hearted it. Yes, we're safe. We win. It's fine. And he finally texts me back like, yeah, he likes talking to me too. So we're good, okay? I just had to let you know that happened. Okay, so we're not talking about sports or relationships. Literally, I told all of those stories just to tell you that today we are talking about expectation. What's up, Switch? It's Leslie, and if I'm not talking about relationships or drawing brain science, what are we even doing? I know, you expect it of me by now. But today we are talking about fasting and worship and being expectant of what God could do in and through us when we're yielded to Him. Last week, we learned that worship isn't just about singing, that it's about making God's priority our priorities. It's also just about being open-handed to say, God, what could you do through me if I was yielded and open to your Spirit? Last week, we also explained that we all worship something, right? It's just in our nature to give our best time and energy and attention to something. Sometimes those things aren't necessarily bad, but we can give so much to them that they become demands and distractions. When that happens, we ultimately end up bumping God out of first place in our lives. The things that demand our time and attention, like social media or maintaining our image or our possessions, whatever that looks like for you, those things aren't necessarily bad, but they can get to the point where we worship those more than we worship God. We kind of take him out of the rightful place of being first in our lives. And usually it's on accident. We don't mean to, it just happens. We asked the big question. We asked, what if? Just what if maybe God wanted to use you to heal, transform, redeem, fix, grow, whatever it is in your community, in your family, in your friend groups, in your entire generation. What if he wanted to fill you with his spirit so that we could accomplish his agenda of love for all mankind? Wouldn't you want to make more room for him in your life? And so last week we got bold. We said we were gonna give up things that were hard to let go of in order to make more space for God to move. We let go of sweets, secular music, social media, whatever that was for you, sacrificially, just to say, God, look at us. We are honoring you and we want to hear from you. See, we love to worship God through music. But if we don't learn to worship by living a lifestyle of putting God first, then what are we even doing here? Spiritual discipline is never about just doing the hard thing just to say that you did a hard thing. Also, spiritual discipline is not about doing this one thing super perfectly in order to say, I'm sorry for all my wrong, let me get this right to make up for my bad or my sin or my wrong. No, that's not how it works. See, if you've already accepted Jesus, you don't have anything to prove. He paid it all. His precious blood covered our sins. If you can't go 10 minutes, 2 hours, 12 hours, a day, a week, whatever it is, if you can't go a certain amount of time without having to check, I don't want to be the one to say it, but this is a family meeting, so I got to keep it real. You might be addicted, right? This is no judgment. I'm just saying that spiritual discipline is about having the right priorities. And that's all it's really about is making God back the highest priority, not just all the things that are pulling for our attention. The fruit of spiritual discipline, right? Contentment, not being fazed by anything, having ultimate peace, being wise among your friends, all of that is really cool. It looks really attractive, but actually getting there takes work. This is what it says in Hebrews. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Ask a bodybuilder, ask an Instagram baddie who has a perfect body, ask Beyonce, ask Craig Rochelle, ask whoever it is that has this massive lasting platform that looks really attractive from where you sit today. Ask them how many hours it took for them to get there. Ask them how many unglamorous, treacherous training hours they put in before they got the platform, right? Because we all want the power, but we don't want the discipline. See, the discipline of denying yourself is about ultimate freedom. It's about being able to find pleasure in saying no when you could say yes. It's about having nothing control you. It's about being able to give up things like sweets, secular music, social media, whatever it is that's occupying your time, just because you can and just because you have a higher priority of hearing from God. There's a guy in history, maybe you've heard of him, his name is Jesus. And right before he kind of blew up with all of these miracles of turning water into wine and healing the sick and raising the dead, he actually fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. No food, no water, no earthly pleasure, just devoted himself to God. What happened right after the fast? Satan shows up and tempts him, offers him worldly pleasure after worldly pleasure. He offers him fame. He offers him wealth. He offers him even just status. This is what it says. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. This is Satan showing these things to Jesus. He says, all of this I will give you if you will just bow down and worship me, right? That's Satan telling Jesus to bow down and worship him. And what does Jesus say back? Jesus says, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Even Jesus replied to temptation with worship. Jesus didn't give in. He had greater expectations for you and for me to live a sinless life so that we could come to know him, so that God can do even greater things through us. Jesus had great expectation. He could see us in the future 2,000 years later. It wasn't worth him to give into earthly pleasures right now, but to elevate God to his rightful place of priority. Spiritual discipline, fasting, a lifestyle of worship, it all makes us open to God and expectation of what he could do in and through us. It just all works together. Okay, Switch. This is a family meeting, which means that I need to say some things very directly to you without sugarcoating it. First, I want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate your generation's ability to change the world. Like, you guys literally have access to so much technology. You actually want to see change happen in the world, and that is an incredible trait of your generation. But the truth is, you don't change the world without discipline. Switch, you don't change the world with lazy habits. You don't change the world without making some kind of sacrifice. You can't change the world for the better if you're not willing to change you for the better. When it comes to that worship part of the service, where we get to worship God through music at Switch, for those of you who are holding back during worship, I want to give you permission to fully engage. Sing louder, raise your hands, shout, dance, sing, bow, I don't know, whatever it is that gets you there with God. I want to give you permission to move away from the people who might be distracting you during that time. For those of you who aren't there with the way you express yourself to God, maybe you're a believer, maybe you're not, that's fine. That's completely fine. But I want to ask you, could you just not be a distraction to the people who are? Like, maybe in those times you stand there and you wrestle with the lyrics, just read the lyrics, or just agree to not talk during that time, or to maybe even just move away. Okay, this next one might hurt a little, but listen, to those of you who just couldn't care less, like the worship doesn't matter, you come to Switch to hang out, listen, that's fine. I'm glad you're here. Seriously, like, we create a safe space for you to come hang out all the time. But I want to ask you, could you practice a little bit of respect? Could you use the time during worship to say, you know what? I'm just going to respect what's happening on stage. You don't have to participate, but maybe don't distract the people around you. For those of you who would say, like, I don't know this song, or I don't like this song, that's fine. There are songs you don't know and there are songs you don't like. But I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to think that maybe for this 3 minutes, God is still worth your attention, right? Maybe don't just pull out your phone or start a conversation because you don't prefer this song. Like, could we get to the point where we honor God's power over our musical preference, right? He is God after all. He did bring you here safely after all. Like, maybe you spend that 3 minutes not singing, but making a list in your head of ways that God has been good to you. For those of you who are standing next to a distraction, like maybe you're like, I'm not talking, that's my friends. Listen, I got 2 challenges for you. You can choose one or the other. 1, I'm gonna challenge you to call your friend out, to say like, hey, maybe not right now, let's talk later. But if that's too much, the other option is this. I'm gonna give you this line. You're gonna say to them, hey, I'll be right back. With a smile, don't judge them, but then I want you to move away from the distraction. I promise they stop talking when they don't have an audience. And lastly, for those of you who love worship, who are going in, your hands are raised, you're crying, you're bowing, you're doing the whole 9, listen, I want to encourage you. Keep doing it. Like, keep being expectant. Keep praying big prayers. Don't get discouraged if worship doesn't feel or go the way that you hope it would for everyone. If you're there, I'm challenging you, stay there with God. He honors that. He sees you, and He is so worth it. Keep expecting. The bottom line is this. Don't miss it. God uses those moments of worship through singing to transform us. Don't miss what He wants to do in and through you when you yield to Him. We are so thankful for our worship teams because they do so much for us. Switch, we had to have kind of a tough conversation today, but I want you to know that it's because I love you. Your youth pastor loves you. We all love you so much. And so the discipline hurts, but it's because we love you. So I want to take a moment to wrap up our time by just praying over the requests that you've been taking to God during this fast. If you've been fasting for something that seems out of your control, and probably is, I want to trust God with you, that as you hand over the outcomes, that you will sense His peace being with you. All to Jesus I surrender all, to Him I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him in His presence daily. If you're fasting because you need peace in the middle of something that seems impossible and chaotic and noisy and loud and stressful and taking up so much space, I want to agree with you. I want to pray and trust God that He will show you the story He's writing and the role that you play in it. Symphony, even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me through all of this chaos. You are writing a symphony, 'cause even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me through all of this chaos. You are writing a symphony. If you've been fasting because you long to know God in the fullness of who Jesus is, yesterday, today, forever, if you're desiring that closeness and that intimacy with who Jesus is, I want to read the scripture over you. Yours, Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the majesty and the splendor. For everything in heaven and everything on earth is yours. Yours, Lord, is the kingdom. You are exalted above all. Praise, blessing and honor. If you are praying to break the chains of anxiety, stress, fear, depression, I am calling on God to be an ever-present help in the time of trouble, that He will be there with you in the valley and that you will learn to call on His name. There's the darkness and calms my soul when I say Jesus. Even a whisper breaks through my doubting till all my fears. If you've been bold enough to pray for revival, if you've been bold enough to pray for redemption, for healing, for God's Spirit to move in your community, in your family, in your schools, then I want to agree with you that God is going to take what is death-ridden and dormant and that He is going to bring it through life, through you, through His Spirit living and moving in you, that you will be filled with His Spirit like a rushing wind, like a wildfire, that you will go out into the world and that you will be the spark of revival in your communities. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's life. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, like a river running wild, like a never-ending fire. Where the Spirit of the Lord is. If you've been bold enough to expect for God to do what other people say is impossible, if you've been praying a prayer because you need a mountain moved or you need the unfixable fixed, listen, I serve a God who can do it. He's always done it from generation to generation, yesterday, today, forever. I promise you, He can do it. The same power that resurrected Jesus from the dead now lives in you. He's done it before, and I know He can do it again. If you've been praying for things that you won't see the outcome of this side of heaven, I'm praying that God will give you new perspective, that you'll be able to see the story that He's writing. My way. When sorrows like sea